It's great to see you this afternoon. Welcome to this week's Talking Tourism, coffee catch up. Great to see you all. Today's catch up, as always, is recorded. The recording is kept safely here at the Zip Visit Lincoln. You should be all on mute, so don't be concerned about your background noise. Children can cry, scream, dogs can bark, it's all okay. If you've got a question today, please raise your hand and use the raise your hand function, which is located at the bottom on your participants bit there, just on the bottom of your screen, or you can use the chat box function and we will try and read out any questions. Today, we're going to be hearing from our guest speakers and three of our partners. So our guest speakers today are Steve Smailes. Steve is a professional commercial wedding and portrait photographer, well known around the city for his work with the Lincolnite. We're also joined by Celia Lockley. She's the managing director of brand marketing agency Boudica, and Celia spent 15 years plus managing, training and consulting on digital best practice and worked with clients including Tesco, Sony and Habitat. So we're going to have a little bit of a change round today, just in the running order. Charlotte unfortunately couldn't make it today. So we've got a little bit of an update, but I will be sending out a little bit of a round robin on a policy update for you all, so we won't miss any of that. But if I can introduce our first partner, it's Amy Conyard, and Amy is co-founder of Bottomley Distillers. If you're not familiar with that brand, or well, that business, Bottomley Distillers, you will be probably enjoyed a very nice glass of gin and tonic. So Amy, if we could go to you, and if you could introduce yourself, please, that would be lovely.
Of course, thank you, Sam. Hi everyone. So I as Sam said, I'm the co-founder of Bottomley Distillers. We launched our flagship brand Pin Gin in 2017. We've been very, very fortunate that that's kind of only just over 3 years ago, and we've been we've had the most incredible journey so far. Really, we've gone from kind of distilling a few bottles a week in the garage to doing a few more than that now. So we moved our distillery from the garage, thankfully, into our grown-up distillery, where you can't really see any of the shiny stuff from my desk, into the grown-up distillery in 2018, in October time. And with that, we then built our gin school and tasting room as well. So we kind of expanded into the visitor economy side as well. We were really conscious from the beginning that people really wanted to come and see what we were doing. We would have people knock on our front door when the distillery was at home, and sort of knocking on the front door going, "Oh, it says there's a distillery around here," and I'd be there with Molly as a new baby and in my arms crying, and I'd be in my pajamas going, "Oh yeah, but you can't come in." So we knew that there was always a demand for people to come and see what we were up to as well. So it seemed obvious to kind of incorporate the two when we moved. And we've just been very, very fortunate that we've been from strength to strength ever since, and have had the support of everyone across the county, really. Sort of Lindsay being on the call from Doddington, that's just a prime example. When we first started, we were literally, Alan and Amy, whipping some gin out in the garage, and we went to all of these places across the county, and Doddington was in like our top 5 of people that we wanted to be on the shelves of, and kind of going to them and saying, "Oh hi, we're knocking up some gin in Louth," and they were like, "Yeah, of course, get involved." And just being able to have those associations from the beginning, I think has just been incredible for us, and just really helped us along the way. Kind of with all of the topics today sort of being imagery based, one of the very hard lessons I learned about a month or so in, one of my friends called me. I'm not going to say the exact words she used in the call, because that's probably not professional, but she rang me, and she does marketing for a living, and she said, "Amy, just stop posting, insert swear words there, pictures on your social media." And we thought that we were fine because we were a little new brand, and it was okay to just take pictures on our phone and post them out, and it was fine for that first month or so. But because of the attention we were getting, from that day I look at every single image we post and think, would my friend categorize that as a picture? And just kind of think twice about everything that we do from there. And it was from that early time then that we invested in our first photo shoot, and every now and then we spend a good amount of money on a big one. But in between then, Steve's probably going to cringe with me saying this, we utilise people we know that have got a camera and say, can we send you a few bottles of gin and you take some pictures for us? Because as a company on a relatively small budget, we can't always afford to spend thousands of pounds on constant imagery, but it's so important. So yeah, we learned that early on to just kind of use what we could to make sure that we had that content along the way, and I think it really helped us with people's perception of our brand as well, because even when we were at home, people would call us and say, there was an Aldi just across the road, and people call and say, I'm in Aldi car park and I'm looking for the Pigeon distillery and I can't see it, and obviously we'd explain that the garage was the distillery. And their mind was blown, because their perception of the brand was that it was just so much bigger, and a lot of that came from the imagery that we used and from that kind of lifestyle almost that we were able to portray through the social media channels. So I'd say that's how I think a lot of how we managed to grow as quickly as we did kind of all rooted back to that, really.
Yeah, and I know that, can I just say, I've got a camera, so if you, I'll have a couple of bottles of gin if you want me to take photos, and I'm quite happy to do that.
That's fine.
You've got quite, I'm sure we've got quite a few people here who's going to put their hand on and say, tell Amy, I can take photos. I know that just before lockdown, you'd also gone to produce some, well, not gone anywhere, but you were going to produce some rum as well, weren't you, and sort of venture out into that as well. And is that come to fruition now? Have you managed to do that?
Yeah, so Rumcat was a little brainchild that had come from almost the beginning, really, from when the distillery was at home, and we had a big chalkboard along the whole length of the kitchen. And Alan had drawn a cartoon cat in the corner of it and written Rumcat underneath it, and it was kind of parked for a long time. Our designer knew about it and was really excited to get his teeth stuck into it, because we kind of said to him that we wanted it to be very different to the Pigeon brand. So I didn't really explain at the beginning the reason we're Bottomley Distillers and then our brand is Pigeon is Alan's surname is Bottomley, and we always knew that we wanted more brands under us, so that kind of as the header gave us the option to do that. So yeah, we knew that we wanted the Rumcat brand to just be a bit different and a bit fun and just a bit edgy, and so it was a long time in the making, and he was ready to be launched just before lockdown. We took him to our last event that we did in Glasgow, which is in the second week of March, literally the week before we got locked down, and that was his first day out, and everybody received it really well, and his online sales have been doing really well, but we just need to obviously push it a little bit more now that everybody's getting out and about and is able to try a little bit. So
yeah. And are you using the same approach with the rum? Are you contacting firstly, sort of in that first instance, people that have already got your gin and then introducing them to your new brand?
Yeah, so we've obviously set up a separate social media channel for it. If anybody goes and looks at it now, I'm very aware I need to do a lot of work on it. It was kind of, because of lockdown being when it happened, that was the time when we would have been out and about and managed to get loads of images and everything, and then we would have been able to literally, like you said, showcase it to everybody that's already familiar with our brands and say, oh, you don't like gin but your husband or your wife likes rum, let's get them a Rumcat, and kind of target it that way, and again through our existing customers. We're very lucky that with a lot of our customers that already stock our products, we can ring them and say, hey, we've got this new flavour or we've got this new line, and because we have those really good relationships and they trust us, which is really nice. they will in the most case quite happily take that. So prime example, obviously it's gone straight into Doddington with Lindsay with the rest of the range. Lincolnshire Co-op, they stock the bulk of the rest of our range as well, and they've taken it straight through as well. So I think with anything, once you've built those foundations, relationships are everything, and it's really easy once you've got those good relationships to kind of as long as your product, if you're confident with it that it's going to do well, then it's really easy to get them through those channels. It's just making sure the consumer buys it at the end. That's all we need now.
Yeah, well, you know, if anybody's not tried it, please do. It's beautiful. And I think, yeah, you are right. Relationships form a huge part of any business. And I think, you know, most of us today who are on the line online today listening, you know, we're all hospitality, tourism. We're all, you know, we like people. Well, I hope we like people. We're all quite hospitable by nature. It is about, you know, strengthening those relationships with other businesses. And I'm, you know, I must say it nearly every week to all the partners as I speak to them, but I'm a massive advocate of people giving business to business. And I think it's really good to work together and strengthen those relationships and just, you know, just help each other within the county. Just trying to do that is invaluable, really. Have you got any other product? Are you going to stick with that now, or you've got new things coming?
Well, we started casting our Lincolnshire whiskey just before Christmas. So that's really exciting. So obviously we have been releasing the whiskey spirit as sort of as an unaged product when we've done batches. So we did have another batch of that come out a few weeks ago, and we did actually, not last week, the week before, release our cask aged gin. So it's a really interesting one for us because loads of shows that we've been doing over the last year, and these cask aged gins have been popping up, and they're not really to my taste personally. So it was never something I thought, yes, I want to do that straight away. But Alan just put a run in a cask, and we said when it comes out we'll see what happens, and you know, it was really tasty. So we released that a couple of weeks ago. It's not one that's for everybody because obviously it gets all of that like all of the flavors from the oak cask, so it is quite whiskey-esque. It's just got that kind of just a nice sweet finish as well. It's really good in cocktails and as a sip in gin. So if you're somebody that likes a pink gin and lemonade, it's absolutely not going to be for you. But if you like a really nice sipping spirit, then it is really beautiful. So so that one came out a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we just waiting now.
I have tried that one.
I've
tried that one. Yeah, and it's unusual because when you look at it, because everybody expects gin to be clear, it's not clear. It's you know, it's got that tinge to it, which is the oak, obviously, but it does look quite unusual. And you see people looking at it and thinking, "Is this gin?"
Yeah, it's just all of those, exactly the same as whiskey. With our whiskey spirit that we've launched, because it's unaged and all of the colour in whiskey comes from the cask, the whiskey spirit is clear, and exactly the same in reverse. People are looking at it going, how can this be whiskey? So yeah, it's nice to be able to experiment with things like that there and just kind of play around with the flavours and things. And the only bit really we're missing now is just being able to open our experiences back up, which we don't really have any intention to do immediately. But yeah, as soon as we do, then we'll be able to get on that.
I think when you're ready to open your experiences up, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but you can visit Amy's distillery. She's got a lovely little setup with a bar if you want to try drinks in there. It's a fab place to be. So when you're ready to open that, you must let us know, Amy. I think it's nice, you know, for some of those accommodation providers, even if they when they're talking to their guests, it might be of interest to some of the guests to say, there's a distillery down in Louth if you want to pop down and visit you.
Do you know, the visitor economy in our area has been just really crucial to sort of how we've managed when we do our experiences, and we have people. It's for us, it still feels really surreal because it's us in an industrial estate in Louth, and obviously when you see something every day, you kind of take it for granted. Like, people come in and look at the stills, the big shiny ones, and like, oh my god, that's amazing, but I walk past it every day, and I know we're really, really lucky. But so we have people that come to Louth on a Friday for a tour, and they're here for an hour and a half. They've had a few sips, but they stay the night in Louth then, and they come from all over, and it's the knock-on effect to the local economy that has. So they'll come for a tour and taste here, they'll get a local taxi into town, they'll stay somewhere, they'll have dinner, they'll wake up in the morning and go for coffee and go to the tea shop or wherever and buy some things. And a £25 per head experience here can turn into a few £100s for the visitor economy in our area. And so yeah, we're always kind of quite focused on how what we do can impact our local businesses as well. So yeah, it's really nice to be a part of, and like you said earlier, just everybody working together is really, really important for that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I can't. I mean, it's great. If you seem to have the whole bar covered now, because you've got gin, whiskey, and rum. So I think you've got it covered there.
I've been thinking about it. I do need a vodka.
Okay. Okay, well, we wait with bated breath for vodka next.
I'll see you next week on that one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us today, Amy. And it's great to hear that, you know, you've come through the other side now of this sort of COVID pandemic. I know the experience part isn't open just yet, and that's obviously for safety reasons, but I'm glad that you're back on track and you're up and running again.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks for your time. We do appreciate hearing from you.
No problem. Thanks, Sam.
No problem. So lovely to hear from Amy. And obviously, if you've not tried those products, I'm sure you can go in the shops and buy it, or give Amy a call. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you if you want to try something or have an introduction to her. So we're also going to hear from a couple of other partners as well today. So shall I introduce you to Hannah Evans. She is the product marketing manager at Away Resorts, or Tattershall Lakes as we might know them locally. As we all know, Tattershall Lakes offer stays for everyone: comfy caravans, luxury lodges, touring and camping, hot tub holidays. I think they've got them all there. So Hannah, are you here with us today?
Yep, I'm here.
Ah, there you are. Lovely. Do you want to just introduce yourself and tell everyone about what you've been getting up to down there?
Yeah, of course. So
it looks like you've been packing.
Hi everyone. So we've obviously been working hard on opening up all of our parks again, and obviously Tattershall, with one of the biggest one on the portfolio, has obviously been possibly one of the biggest challenges with all of the different facilities and all of the capacity limitations and things like that. So I think a key thing for what we've done that I'm hoping Samantha has already or will share with you is our sort of welcome back video. So it gives an idea of what guests are going to expect on arrival. Everything from the new check-in experience, which is contactless from your car, to how the swimming pool sessions will work with social distancing, how the sanitisation, hand sanitisers and things that we've put in and around the park, and how just to make sure that they know exactly what they're going to be experiencing. If they're a little bit nervous about arriving, they will already know what's happening on park. And although we've done that for each of our parks, I think it makes sense for Sam to share the Tattershall version with you. And I guess from that, we've obviously learned so much about how, I guess it's propelled our digital journey forward a little bit more. So trying to take out all of those touch points that you wouldn't normally think of that are normal in the old normal world, such as a waitress handing you a menu and all of these things, that we've had to sort of propel everything a little bit forward a lot quicker, and look at new ways of doing that. So at the moment, anything now from booking your activities to looking at the menu while you're sat in our restaurant, to booking your table, to all sorts of things, is now all digital via your smartphone. As I said, including menus. So you're given a QR code that you scan upon arrival, and then you see everything will be taken for you. There's no reason to get up, sit back, relax. Everything's in front of you and can be ordered. We've also developed our app, so we can now order from your seat. So that even takes away, without trying to take too much of the personal experience away from it, it does allow you, if you're nervous about anything, to order from your tables without even going to the bar, without having to order from a waitress. So there's none of that interaction, which at the moment I appreciate can be a little bit scary for some people.
And I know you're working on a project, aren't you, at the moment, to try and integrate with other businesses?
Yeah, so a key one that we want to look at sort of post-COVID is like we just mentioned, it's building that tourism economy back up again, and making sure that not only people are coming and staying with us at Tattershall and using our facilities, we want them to experience the local area, we want to experience Lincoln and go out and see your guys' opportunities that you've got out there as well. So at the moment, we're currently looking at a way where we can offer discounts for all of these local attractions that are in the area, discounts for them if they're staying on our park, and also how that can then push them out and how we recommend those places to everyone that arrives on park. Whether that's through some form of sort of like a Lincoln discount, that membership card that we can offer, and how that pushes out. But essentially, we just want to be partnered up with as many people as possible so that we can ensure that we're offering all of our guests that come and to stay with us the whole Lincolnshire experience, not just the Tattershall Lakes one. And I think a key thing to point out upon that is that we're also on that digital side of the journey. We're looking at, we're currently working on a new website, and one of those, the functions of that website will allow you to basically plan your itinerary for the week. So yes, you can pull in your swimming session that you've booked on park. Yes, you can pull in that restaurant booking that you might have booked on park, but it'll also allow you to pull in a trip to Tattershall Castle, a trip to the distillery, and allow you to work out that your whole holiday, incorporating what we've got on park, but also what's out in the local area for everyone to experience as well.
Yeah, it's like I suppose a one-stop shop, as it were, because people do like to get everything they can in one go, and I think that would allow them that facility, wouldn't it? Yeah,
we think so, and like I said, that has stemmed from, we've always had local discounts and offers anyway, but I think more so than ever it's important that we're all supporting each other on that local tourism and getting it back up and running and back to how it was, and hopefully even better as well.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to see that that's something that you've recognised as a team, and you want to involve the local community and try and work with other businesses, whether that be somebody wants to book into a local restaurant in the evening, or go and have an experience and a day out somewhere, or go and visit I don't know, the gardens somewhere else. It's nice to engage with those other businesses, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Anything else? As your swimming pool open? Silly question, but a couple of people have asked me, so I'm just saying, is the swimming pool open at Tattershall?
Our brand new outdoor lakeside Lido swimming pool is now open.
Mm-hmm.
And then that follows, and then our indoor splash pad and swimming pool will follow on Saturday when that's allowed.
Right, and everything else is back to normal. You're fully open.
We're operating at a limited capacity. So although that's pushed on again towards the facilities that are obviously operating at limited capacity, the park is also operating at limited capacity. So we're only at 75% capacity, so it's not too full and busy. But pretty much, minus the odd few things and facilities that we just haven't quite, we don't feel that we can work out a safe way to open them yet, everything is as normal now.
I'm not sure what she was going to say next in terms of Tattershall Park, Tattershall Lake, sorry, but I'd like to introduce now Lindsay Woods, just whilst we're waiting for Samantha to come back in. Lindsay, are you there? I'll just ask you to unmute. So Lindsay is the marketing manager from Doddington Hall. They've got beautiful hall and gardens, eating, shopping facilities, and facilities for corporate events and weddings as well. I think they've got some very exciting news of what's opening up within the next couple of days. Lindsay, so would you like to introduce yourself and talk through Doddington Hall?
Okay, so hi everyone. As Jess said, I'm Lindsay. I'm the Marcoms officer or manager at Doddington Hall and Gardens. So super busy time for us. Throughout lockdown, the farm shop and the bike shop actually stayed open because it's classed as essential retail. And since the easing, we've gradually been opening everything else up. So we're pretty much open everywhere, so all the shops, all of our eateries, the hall is open on Sundays only because we're dependent on volunteers, and the gardens are open daily. So apart from weddings and corporate events, we're fully functioning. So as you can imagine, there's been a lot of changes in how we operate and the need to communicate that to everybody. Been quite lucky in that our customers are lovely and understanding, so it's been quite good going actually, although it has been, you know, a difficult road. So the news I wanted to share, some of you may already know that we've got our really popular sculpture exhibition starting this Saturday, the 25th of July. It was touch and go. We didn't know if it was going to go ahead. It's been in the diary for 2 years. And we were, at one point, we thought, no, this isn't going to go ahead, but we kept going with the planning. And luckily, because it's an outdoor exhibition, or mainly outdoor, we were able to go ahead, which is brilliant. So the installation has been cut down to 2 weeks instead of 4. And it's been in planning for a very long time. So delighted that we can go ahead. It's our 5th biennial sculpture exhibition. And we've got some really big names. This is the catalogue, little sneak preview for you there. We've got nearly 400 sculptures throughout the gardens and the Stable Yard Gallery, from 68 national and international sculptors. Really, I know I'm biased, but I've seen the setup and it's looking amazing. And please do follow us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter at Doddington Hall, and Facebook Doddington Hall and Gardens, because we're showing some behind the scenes shots and little sneak peeks of what you can expect. So yeah, so if you can come along between the 25th of July and the 6th of September, that'd be great. It's quite a big attraction for the local audience, but also we get people from all over coming. So it's quite a draw to the Lincolnshire area. We've got holiday cottages, so we often get people booking stays to visit the exhibition, and they also want information from us about what there is to explore in Lincoln and the surrounding area. So of course we promote local businesses, and we're very big in cycling and promoting our cycle route from Doddington to Lincoln. So yeah, there's a great opportunity for cross promotion there within the Lincolnshire area. So
what times, are the time frames, Lindsay, sort of admission times to come and visit the sculpture?
So it's 25th of July this Saturday until the 6th of September, and it's 10 till 4 every day. It's just the garden admission, so £7.50 per adult. There's no extra charge for the exhibition apart from the exhibition catalogue. So it's really great value.
Good.
We've just started.
10 till 4 every day?
Yeah, 10 till 4 every day.
Yeah,
so plenty of opportunity to come along. And we've just opened the Doddington Tea Room in the Coach House, which is our wedding venue, which isn't seeing a lot of action at the moment. So we're serving afternoon tea in there Wednesday to Sunday. We're participating in the Eat Out campaign. So every Wednesday you'll be able to get an amazing Doddington afternoon tea for only £10. So top tip if you want to book in for a Wednesday.
Top tip. Noted.
Yeah, book in for a Wednesday. So we're encouraging people to book online for sculpture. We've got a dedicated website which is called it's sculpture.doddingtonhall.com. So you can find it on the normal Doddington website. We've also got a dedicated website where you can find out about who's exhibiting and see some of the pieces and the prices. So the prices range from £60 to £60,000. It's always great to go around and kind of guess the prices. But it's super accessible. A lot of people, I mean, I've got a 5-year-old, so you know, thinking about expensive artwork, you're like, oh, might keep the kids away, but actually it's really accessible for families, you know, all ages. Really accessible exhibition and fun, and there's literally something for everyone.
Good. And I'm assuming that obviously with people being able to book it, that's a way of you sort of monitoring how many people and just making sure that people are coming in at staggered times and that's socially distanced.
Yeah, so we've always done online ticketing, but this time we are encouraging people. So we're going to keep a very limited amount of walk-up tickets because some of our audience they don't like booking online. So we are keeping some tickets back, but we're trying to encourage people to book online because then we can see, right, okay, this is how many people we've got coming. We've planned a designated route that aids social distancing, and we've got kind of all of there's a bit on our website about everything that we've done to make sure that everyone's safe, and encourage people to keep that in mind whilst they're on site.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Oh, well, thanks for telling us about it. And it's good that, you know, as you say, it's, you know, it's a draw to the area and it's great for everybody else around. You know, there's other accommodation providers that are here that I'm sure may benefit from people coming in and listen and watching and coming to your place, looking at the sculptures. So I'm glad that, you know, it's good, and seems like I like the idea that you've put the tea room now in the other venue, and we'll all make note that on Wednesday you'll probably have a list of people trying to book in on Wednesdays. There'll be bookings will go through.
I'm doing an announcement tonight on social media, so get your bookings in.
Oh, that's it. Everybody be like, you know, when tickets are released on a huge stadium tour, and everybody's all just trying to book on dead on 1 minute after midnight or something. Fab. Well, thanks for taking time to come and speak to us. I know you're really busy. Thank you. And I didn't see Hannah, but thank you, Hannah, as well. I kind of lost my connection. I'm so sorry, but thank you for speaking as well. I know that I left you in Jessica's capable hands, but thank you. So just a little bit of extra news just before we go to Steve, who's going to be talking to us about the photography hints and tips. But we just had a bit of news from Lincoln Castle and the Collection Museum this week. And they're going to now be offering a designated time slot for visitors who are shielding. And I think this is just a really, really lovely, I think it's a wonderful, lovely idea. So people who are shielding can go to the castle or the Collection Museum. They can feel safe. They can go every Thursday, starting from today, between 10 and 11. And the collection and the castle have really lowered the capacity just to cater for this. And I think it's a really lovely thing to do so that, you know, people can feel safe and still enjoy the facilities and the lovely grounds and everything else that's out there. So don't forget as well, I've just reminded myself, everybody, when you're out and about in your own personal time shopping, don't forget from tomorrow we've all got to be wearing our face coverings. Very controversial, but we need to wear them. So we are going to introduce you now to Steve, and he's going to chat to you all on getting the best out of your photographs, how to use them in your business, and give you some hints and tips on taking photos using your mobile phone. Where are you, Steve?
Yeah. Hello. Yes.
You want to introduce yourself and give us these hints and tips, and then we can all get in gin and charge Amy a couple of bottles for taking photos.
Yeah, I think she's gone. I've missed my chance because I have my camera ready to get my free gin. Anyway, yeah. So my name's Steve Smailes. I'm gonna share my screen because I've got a few slides. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yeah.
Is that right? Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna show you the slides after. I'm gonna send a link so you can see the slides because I'm gonna kind of breeze through what I'm talking about, but some of it might be useful afterwards. So yeah, so I'll breeze through this bit. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. I'm a commercial wedding and portrait photographer based in Lincoln. A lot of people know me from the pictures I do for the Lincolnite. I've been working in the photography industry for about 10 years, and yeah, there's a few of the clients that I work with, the Lincolnite, Visit Lincoln, University of Lincoln, things like that. So so before we start, I want to just get a little bit of a disclaimer out there first. So this talk is going to be almost have almost no jargon in it. You don't need any photography equipment or anything like that. I'm not telling you to go out and spend loads of money on it. So this is all to do with working with your mobile phone. And the other disclaimer is that, you know, think about photography as a creative medium. Everything that I'm talking about here is a guide and a way of doing it, but it's not the only way of doing it. You know, you can, by all means, do it your own way. If the results are the same, you know, who cares how you did it? So, so that's the disclaimers out of the way. So we're going to have 6 quick tips for doing product photography or photography of your venue. Get you thinking like a professional photographer, and then give you a few tips on editing as well. So the first one is, it's not particularly a practical thing, but it's just to kind of get your head in the right space, is to have your audience in mind. So, you know, what do you want to show your audience, and what do they want to see? So they obviously want to see something really interesting, you know, visually eye-catching. And you want to get across your kind of message that you're, whether it's an attraction or a product, you know, you want to get that kind of what your brand is all about across, and you know, whatever your key messages are. So and the answers to these questions are going to help you kind of structure what you're going to take pictures of down the line. So, you know, if your brand is maybe a luxury brand, you might want to think about you know, photographing things in a luxurious setting, or using materials that are associated with luxury. Or if you're like a fun brand, then you might want to have more colors, you know, something showing that kind of fun element. So yeah, so the answers to these things are going to help you with the actual composition and things like that, which is what we're going to go into now. So this one is generally, it's widely known as the rule of thirds, but I don't want to call it a rule, because it's not a rule, it's a guide. But we tend to frame things in photography by putting things in sort of in a third section. So if you think of your viewfinder as a 9 equal sections, and we try and put things in like where these sections sort of intersect. So it keeps the reason why we do this is it's more kind of visually appealing. And if you think about when you look at a picture, you kind of look at whatever the most eye-catching piece is, and then your eye starts kind of wandering around the rest of the picture. So for this one, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but your eye's drawn to the ring first, and then your eye's going to look along the line where the wood is, and you know, you're going to look around the picture of it. So try and think about putting things in the corners or the thirds of the image. This is another example. So you see exactly the same location, it's just that it's slightly differently framed. So if you have something in the center, your eye looks at this thing in the center, but then it's kind of confusing. Do I look left? Do I look right? Which way do I go? Whereas on the right, it's a lot more visually appealing. Then your eye's kind of drawn to the right-hand side. So that's a little bit about the rule of thirds. And there's another example. This is one we did for the coffee guide. It's just some cake. You know, your eye's drawn to the cake first, and then you got the coffee, and then it's that kind of guiding your viewer around the picture. So another way we can do photography is by doing something called a flat lay. These are wildly popular on Instagram and Pinterest and things like that. It's essentially just taking a picture from above onto, you know, showing like a product or something like that. Really effective way of doing photography. Super easy to set up. You can use backgrounds that are flat, almost any texture, really, anything you can find around the house. And it's all about kind of arranging products in a certain way. So I know Amy was talking about doing products, you know, like gin or whatever. You could have things like the ingredients that make the gin. You could just arrange those and arrange a little picture like that. So here's the thing about backgrounds. Yeah, something that gives you space to arrange your products on. Or you find things around the house. Yeah, I use dining tables a lot because it's like wood, and wood's a quite nice background. It's natural. It's got lots of little quirky things in it. But equally, you could use, you know, clothes, floors, fabrics, tiles is another one. I've got like a tile here. This is one that I use for doing like food, and there's some pictures in it as well. This is just a tile from B&Q, super cheap. It go to like go their like clearance aisles. They always have like tiles that are like at the end of the box. So like one like that was like 50p, but it's like super easy, hard wearing background that you can use really quick. So as a top tip right there. So there's an example of another. It's kind of a flat lay. I know I've kind of broken the rule by doing a different angle, but this is one we did for Stokes, showing the different coffees that they do. And then they added like text around these to show like what the different kinds of coffee are. So that was another way of composition. Next up, we have lighting. So window light is what I would suggest as, just natural daylight as being like the best kind of lighting, really. You can't beat it. An overcast day is actually really good. So when it's cloudy, because the light is kind of diffused, you don't want that harsh sunlight, because especially on a phone, it's going to really blow out all the settings for you. Morning and evening light is really good. At the moment, it's probably around like sort of 7 o'clock-ish. Is what we call golden hour. It's really good sunlight. It gives you a nice orangey glow. And avoid like tungsten and fluorescent lights. So things like offices, a lot of those have like office horrible colored light. So it's not good. But if I can, try and photograph things near a window or outside. And you can use like a white sheet, or I use one of these reflectors to block harsh sunlight, which is a really good way of eliminating harsh light and shadows. So here's an example. You can see the sun's coming through, and I've just blocked the food, so you don't get that harsh sunlight on it. There's another one. It's a flat lay. So next up we got props. So we I call it picking a star item. So what you want to show as your focus, and then building like a supporting cast of different elements. So it could be, the ingredients you use in your product, or the tools you use to make it, or something that goes well with it. So, if with the Pinjin, say, you could have things that go well with it, if the botanicals or something, add those supporting cast around it. So here's an example. We've got like, it was basically for a bundle where you got like the beer and you could hire the games and stuff. But then we've got like things around it, like, the retro games, and this is the shop. So yeah, we've got just that supporting cast around it. So the last thing is about editing. These are 2 free mobile apps for editing your pictures. The Adobe Lightroom one is free. The mobile app is free, but it's more advanced. There's a lot of options, and if you're comfortable with using that, that's totally fine. But a really simple version is it's called Google Snapseed. It's a really quick and easy editor. Again, it's free, super simple to use. I'll just go through it quickly. So it's very simple. You just open your picture. You can use the same edits that you made last time straight away, or there's some preset ones for you, or you can adjust things on your own. I've circled the ones that I would think are the most easiest to use. So yeah, these are, I would, by all means try all these different ones, but these are the main ones that I would go and use straight away. And then to use the app, it's very simple. You up and down will change which setting you're using, and the right and left changes how much of that setting you're adjusting. So it's super simple to use. And here's a couple that I did. These are on my phone. So I've just taken the shot and then edited it in Snapseed. So this one, you can see I've used the lens blur here. So you can see that the edge is like blurred, so it looks a bit more like a professional kind of picture. Again, it's super simple to use. And the shameless plug for my wedding photography, that's one of my albums. But, yeah. And that's where I shot it. It was just on my dining table. Yeah, super simple setup. So there's a link there for how to use Snapseed a bit more. It's really a good guide for that. These are some more examples of quick and easy product shots. So this one was for it's like a hair wax. So they had I saw the thing because it says stay defined. I kind of like scrunched up the material just to make it a little bit different. And this is the setup. It's super simple. It's on my windowsill. I got a shirt off the washing line. Just added it on. It's easy. And here's one about going back to the beginning where I was saying about having your audience in mind and what your key message is. This is a set of pictures I've just finished for a client, and they're all about home cooked Italian food. It's all about families coming around the table, eating together. So we added in things like the kind of rustic, the pans, like they're in the middle of cooking it, and it's kind of like they've got the ingredients in there. It's all fresh and that kind of thing. So yeah, once you kind of have those ideas in your head, things start coming out, the decisions that you make creatively. And these are just a couple more of the images that I do, products, and telling a story in the image. This one, this was from Oliver last year in the prison. So you've got like all the people around doing different things, telling the story visually. Bit more food. So this is showing the process. So kind of if this is for coffee, so showing people making coffee. These work quite well on Instagram because they're kind of like little detail shots. This was for the Old Palace Hotel in Steep Hill, just showing the luxurious rooms. And then this was for the coffee guide that we did last year. And another flat lay. And that's about it. So I've kind of blown through that, but yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, there's my website there, my email address. I'm happy to chat about things if you want to know you got any questions or anything like that. And obviously if you need a big load of pictures doing for your social media, then I'm always at the end of the phone or an email. Thanks.
Steve, great tips. I'm just thinking, obviously product as in food, drink, things like that, that's quite easy to take a photograph of in terms of, yeah, you've got it, it's a tangible item, it's there, you can take the photo. But I'm just thinking maybe for accommodation providers, maybe they would we say like look for, I don't know, would it be nice to perhaps take a photograph of their, of their front door or their name above the door, or maybe, I know that photo just showed of the Old Palace, which had, you could see the ensuite just through. So are we, is it nice to perhaps find something, I don't know, even the garden at a B&B or something like that, something that's unique to them. And then would you apply those same rules whether you're taking a photograph of a garden or a building and the person, maybe the face behind that business? Would that be the same rules just as you would if you were taking a photograph of product? Yeah, for sure. Like going back to the first slide about kind of what your message is and things like that. If you're say you're a hotel or whatever, maybe your hotel has a theme running through it, like the decor is a certain theme, or there's a certain kind of person you're trying to attract. So think about those things. Like for the Old Palace, they had obviously a lot of, it was built in an old church, so they had a lot of those like architectural features. So like when we did the pictures for them, we were trying to include those as much as possible and have it as like a focal point of each picture. So making sure we get those things in. If you're photographing like rooms, it's probably an additional tip, but say you're photographing rooms, you want to try and get in like a corner of a room and then show, because it's the best way to show the whole room itself. Try and either go sort of eye level or slightly higher, so you get that good wide shot of the whole room basically. So yeah, that's another tip. But going, things like lights, the
the more light you can get, the better, especially on like mobile phones.
Yeah.
Because without the lighting, it doesn't matter what equipment you have. Like if you don't have good light, it doesn't matter. It's not going to work.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, and those two apps that you mentioned, they look really good and really quite easy to use. And obviously, if you're taking a photograph on your phone, those apps would help you a lot, wouldn't they? In sort of cropping and making, and even that blurring it out, making it look like that kind of professional feel about it. So that's really good. Thank you. And thanks for joining us today. It's lovely to hear from you. Thanks for your time, Steve.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. So we are going to go over to Celia now. She's going to quickly talk to us and discuss the importance of user-generated content and how to best use Instagram to promote your business. I hope I've got that right, Celia.
You have. Thank you, Sam. I'm just going to share my screen, so just one moment. I'm Celia Lockley, and I was here last week talking to you a little bit about a course that's coming up, an online course that's going to be available from next month, which is actually in a couple of weeks' time, which is exciting, called the Instagram Bootcamp. So I'm very much here today to talk about Instagram specifically, but my background is in social media and digital, so I'll be referring a little bit to both. So if you were here last week, you will have heard me talking around the course that's coming up. But today I'm going to give you a little mini training just to kind of finish off our Talking Tourism coffee call today. Hopefully going to be a few little ideas here for you, and I'm going to try and complement what Amy and Steve were talking about today around images and photography to really bring everything into context, because that there is a sort of perception of kind of wanting to create content, but I want to sort of talk to you about the fact that we need to remember kind of why we're doing it and what we're actually trying to aim to do with it. So a bit of background, I'm the director of Boudica Creative. We're a brand marketing agency specialising in brand development and social media strategy. And we've been working with Business Lincolnshire and Visit Lincoln to create the Instagram Bootcamp course, which I'll be sharing details on at the end of my mini training. This is under a new programme called the Tourism Growth Programme. And this is a series of online trainings and courses that we're going to be releasing over the next few months. So all of this content will be free and available to Lincolnshire businesses. So really, really exciting for you to get your teeth into and grow your skills and learn more about what you need to do in terms of digital. So I'm going to just go into our little mini training now. So I want to talk to you about content today. Content is a subject that is so broad, and social media kind of we get very kind of tied in knots when it comes to, are we talking about social media, are we talking about content, images, all of those things are all related and all similar things, but really just today wanting to bring the context to why we should create better content when it comes to our social media. So one of the biggest areas that will make or break your success on social media is, of course, the quality of the content you post. And we've just heard from Amy talking about how she improved the quality of what she was posting in order to align it to her brand values, in order to align it to the kind of customer that was going to be interacting with her brand. And that's super, super important. And then Steve obviously was talking about how important it is to capture the right kind of images and thinking about that composition and how you really put those together. And so I will sort of bring that all together now and talk about the kind of context of your content strategy, if you like. So having lived and breathed social media for the last decade and spent many thousands of hours creating, managing and testing content, I can tell you that beautiful images alone are not enough. So often what happens is businesses just post what they think people want to see or what they like, what they like themselves, and not necessarily what their audience wants. And Steve touched on this around sort of really knowing your audience and what they want to see. But really this is about sometimes posting without a strategy, and not having that strategy in place means that you're kind of blindly posting things that you think look nice or maybe are what people want to see, but there's no strategy behind it. And that can be a completely massive waste of time. So the first step to creating better content on channels like Instagram as a business owner is to get super clear and intentional about what you're trying to achieve, whether that's building brand awareness, increasing your audience, or converting more sales. So we don't just do Instagram to look good or to keep up with everyone else. We must do it strategically. So when we create anything, the first question that you should ask yourself, particularly if you're creating your social media feed and the posts that go on it, is who is this for? And is this being created because I like it, or am I creating it because it's for my audience? Is this for my customers, or is this just something that I think as a business owner that they would like? And we need to stop making those assumptions, really. So knowing our audience is so key, and Amy talked about this. Pinjin obviously being really mindful of the perception of their brand, and actually making sure that those images align to that premium high-end brand perception and brand presence that they're looking to achieve, and so making sure that their strategy is aligned to that as well. So I'd like you to think about it like this, really. Is the performance, as in your social media content, what your audience really want to see? Are you giving them the show that they bought the tickets for? Then you need to think about the fact that you need to make your audience actually the hero. And so the best content creators don't constantly talk about themselves. They actually give the audience what they want. They make them the hero. And a little reminder that social media content isn't really about your business at all. It's actually about your customer. And so really focusing on what they want to see and what they enjoy, and connecting to them in a way that makes it human. So just like Nike do the Just Do It campaign, that's all about championing ambition and really celebrating real human beings. It's not about trainers or sportswear. So when we tell stories about people and not things, we create real trust and connection, which is why it's really important to make sure that our content is about feelings and not products, and making our audience feel something. No matter what you're selling, that is what causes a sale. A sale is an action that is taken from a feeling, not from, oh, I just need to buy this thing because. It's often based on a gut feeling or a specific need. And when we identify that, then we can really start to help and support and inspire people. So every post that you create needs to be purposeful. And I've got a few categories that you can think about when it comes to your content and when you're creating content. And a lot of people really struggle to come up with ideas for channels like Instagram, and I'm sure you'll resonate with this when I say that you'll probably have moments where you think, I just don't know what to post, I've got no idea, I feel so uninspired, and I'm about to give you a little template that will help with that. But before I do that, I want you to think about some categories that you can start to sort of base your content on. So here are a few categories to think about to help your audience really get what they need from your social media content. So think about value posts, sharing something valuable for free, or a free recipe, for example, a free recipe or a discounted ticket. That's a really good example of giving value. Educational post, these would be where you are giving away insights and educating your audience on subjects that are relevant to your business, for example, sustainability. You might do a post about the journey that you're on. So you might be sharing, and this is really relevant right now with COVID, your journey, what you're doing to kind of evolve and pivot and change. And this is really nice because it tells a story about your business, and it really helps your audience connect to you as human beings. Remember, they're all human beings. They want to know what you're up to, and they want to really hear from real humans. Another type of post you can do is a solutions post, which provides an exact solution to a product, to a need that your audience has. So this might be a product or service that you sell, and you're really addressing one of their pain points or their needs with this solution. So for example, if they need to get a haircut, you can provide them with a post that enables them to book an appointment online. So this is just about matching that pain point with a solution that you provide. And that's all that sales is at the end of the day. So this is a little template I'm going to give you, and you might just think, what is that? It's just literally a grid, but trust me, this works. So if you've got a notebook and pen, write this down. So here is a grid with 9 squares on it. It's a 3x3 grid, basically. So you've got 9 squares, and along the top, I want you to write your 3 products or services that you sell. So you might sell more than 3, but just write 3 down. So for example, that might be designer clothing, hotel rooms, attraction tickets, whatever it may be. Write those down along the top. And then along the left-hand side, you're going to write down 3 pain points or needs that your ideal customer has. So for example, they're craving a getaway, they're uninspired by their wardrobe, or they need somewhere nice to take the kids. Now in the squares, then you can actually match those products and services with those pain points. And this is a really great way to generate content ideas easily, very quickly and easily. So think of a snappy title that directly matches your services to that pain point. For example, 3 reasons to visit Lincoln this summer, 7 looks to shake up your summer wardrobe, 5 child-friendly cafes in Lincolnshire, and so on. And so you can really start to think of content pieces, whether that's a blog, an Instagram post, a video, whatever it may be, you can start to create post ideas in this really simple format. So I hope that's been useful. I have had to be very quick because I don't have long to talk, but I just wanted to finish off with a bit of a preview on the Instagram Bootcamp, and just to talk you through what that will include. So it is a fully funded free online course that is launching in August 2020. It's a business-focused Instagram strategy course. So this isn't about, just sort of here's how to use Instagram and off you go. There's a real kind of core strategy in here, which is why I wanted to give you a little preview of that today. This is going to cover everything from content, design, tone of voice, planning, and analytics. Basically, all of the things I've spent many, many years doing for brands, I'm putting into this course for you to get access to. There's going to be workbooks, video guides, podcasts, challenges, and quizzes along the way. Plus, we'll be doing live webinars in this group where we're going to host little webinar trainings along the way. So you'll be able to capture those. And then if you didn't catch them live, you can go back into the course, and you can watch the replay in the course as well. There'll be Q&A sessions, and over 12 modules will be showing you what you can do to improve your Instagram business approach. So you can log in and learn at your own pace on mobile or desktop. There's a few things you can listen to, there's videos to watch, there's various different pieces of content to interact with, and it's all going to be drip fed to you over a series of weeks, so you won't have to rush through it all and do it within a specific time frame. You can enroll or register. To get involved, you need to enroll or register with Samantha. If you just let her know that you're interested, then we can start adding you to the list. We've got a bit of a list going now, and the enrolment form will be open soon. And just to be clear on eligibility, it's for anyone in the Lincolnshire Greater Lincolnshire area who has a business and who is or is directly affiliated to the Lincolnshire business scene. So there we go. That is the Instagram Bootcamp overview, and I really look forward to seeing you in some of those live trainings and getting to know some of your businesses and helping you to grow your social media presence. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks, Celia. That was really well put together and really interesting. Thank you. And I know that, as Celia's just mentioned, I have started putting together a list of interested parties. So once we've got that date, I can let everybody know. But yes, if you all email me, and then we can pass that on, and we can get Celia going. And she's got a full list of people to work through. And I know, Celia, it is for this bootcamp is for beginners right through to pro users. So I don't want people to think, oh, I know how to use Instagram, I don't need this, but they can still benefit from this, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, even if you've been using Instagram for years and you think you know what you're doing, I would say that there's definitely more advanced trainings in here for you as well. And it's always really good to be open-minded about improving and expanding your knowledge, and just seeing if there's something, there might just be a few little nuggets in there that help you to really kind of differentiate what you're doing. And as I say, we're not just doing the basics, we're going into kind of some real kind of deeper level strategy too.
Yeah, I think that's what I think lots of businesses will benefit from that. You know, just from understanding the strategy behind Instagram, not just happily snapping away. So I'm really excited about this course. So I think we'll finish off there. I want to say very quickly, round of applause first, everybody, for everyone who spoke. We always do this. Clap, clap, please. Thank you. And can I just say to everybody, thank you so much for staying with us, because I know we always say an hour, and normally we're quite good, but we've run over a little bit today. That's probably because I chatter away. But thank you for staying with us and not logging off. So I do appreciate you all being here, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. And have a great afternoon and what's left of it, and have a fabulous weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye.